is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage, week number 8 in the National Football League. San Francisco 49ers taking on the NFL's best Philadelphia Eagles, winners of 6 straight after their demolition of the San Francisco 49ers, 33-10. Now 7-1 on the season. The Eagles continue to sport the NFL's best record. Meanwhile, the 49ers, along with the Browns, continue to be the NFL's worst. Now at 0-8 on the season, joining the Cleveland Browns as the only other winless team in all of the National Football League. 49ers, continue to struggle. And I'm going to make this one nice and quick, short, to the point. No need in dragging this one along. This one was done pretty much at halftime. And it's a shame, really, because the 49ers were in this ball game up until halftime, and that's when the wheels fell off. C.J. Beathard throws the pick six to Jalen Mills right before the half, and the Eagles then ran away with the game. At that point, you go from trailing 9-0 to 17-0, essentially, at that point, after the 2-point conversion puts the Eagles up 17-0. And at that point, you were done. You had to keep the game low scoring to have a shot, and you were doing a good job of that. The defense was keeping the Eagles out of the end zone, and you had them right where you wanted them. And that pick six was an absolute backbreaker. And at worst, at least get Jalen Mills onto the ground and see if the defense can't come out and once again keep this Eagles offense out of the end zone. But allowing him to get into the end zone, zig and zag and cross field and find a way into the end zone, that's a heartbreaker. But even then, even though the game was over and you had no shot after that, you still tried to put up a little bit of a fight. You get the touchdown to Matt Breida, and you're down at that point. I think it was 20-7. I mean, I think you would climb back to 20-7 at that point. And you feel good if we can get a stop. Maybe we can get back into this game. And you give up the Alshon Jeffrey big ball. And just like that, bing, bang, boom. And I think you gave up a pass interference right before that. And then the Alshon Jeffrey, get off my yard, toss him out of the way into the end zone. Yikes. And just like that, 27-7, this game's over. And the Eagles just continue to dominate. And it starts with their defense. They're the catalyst right now with what they're doing, because even when the offense doesn't have it clicking on all cylinders like early in this ball game, the defense is able to pitch a shutout, as they were able to do against the 49ers. They were able to pick C.J. Beathard off twice. I talked about one of the picks turning into a pick six. They were able to make plays against C.J. Beathard. They sacked him 4 times in this game. And so you shut down a run game. You get after the opposing team's quarterback. You force them into some mistakes. You take advantage of those mistakes. And voila, it's a total team effort. Wentz continues to do what it is he's been doing this year and continuing to bolster his MVP candidacy as he goes out. 2 more touchdowns. Did throw an interception in this game, but again, he continues to run this team the way that it needs to be run in order for them to continue to win football games and put themselves in a position to not only win the NFC East, but to also secure a big-time playoff berth. We're talking number 1 seed. Playoffs go through Philly in the NFC. That's what's at stake with this football team each time they step on the field, because you don't want to relinquish that opportunity to have everyone have to come to Philly to win. That's turning into an environment. And we know we give a lot of flack to the Philadelphia crowd, Philadelphia media, and all the Philadelphia things that go with Philadelphia sports. But that's a real sports town. And when their teams are good, they show up. And they turn up, and they turn out. And this is a situation now with the Eagles. Now they're gaining confidence as a football team, and the fans are gaining confidence in them. And because of that, this is becoming a dangerous Philadelphia Eagles team to have to deal with. And now going to Philadelphia, which didn't used to be that daunting of a task, it's now becoming a big chore for most teams heading up to the link. So Eagles go and do what they were supposed to do to a winless 49ers team and destroy them 33-10, dominate this football game. Good to see Alshon Jeffrey get in the end zone, make a big play. They're going to need that from him moving forward. Corey Clement starting to get more and more touches. I think they're really starting to become comfortable with him being a ball carrier. As long as he doesn't fumble the football, I think they're going to be okay with him getting more touches. He was good in this game. And defensively, they just need to stay healthy. That's their biggest problem moving forward. They can stay relatively healthy on that side of the football. The Eagles are going to be a problem moving forward. For the 49ers, disappointing. C.J. Beathard is not a starting quarterback. I think you're finding that out week after week after week. And I know it's early, but he was drafted to be a backup quarterback. He wasn't drafted to be the guy in San Francisco. He's a guy that can run your offense, can come in and be a backup quarterback, can run your offense for a 2 to 4 week stretch, get you through a period where your starter's down. And I expect him to fill that role for Kyle Shanahan moving forward. And so what you're finding out is that Redskins game was a mirage, because the last 2 weeks versus other NFC East opponents, he's been destroyed, and his team in turn has been destroyed because of his lack of consistency and ability to take care of the football. So they're going to continue to struggle this season. At some point, they're going to beat somebody, and I already told you when it happens, it's going to be in the division. But nonetheless, defensively is where you're going to have to win that game too. You're not going to win like you almost did on a Thursday night earlier in the season in a shootout, 41-30. Now you're going to win games like that. You're going to beat somebody. It's going to have to be 20-17, 20-16, 17-13. Your defense is going to have to step up, and you're going to have to play mistake-free football and give yourself a chance. And I think your defense is capable of doing that. But right now, the offense, they just make too many mistakes, and you've got too many injuries on the defensive side of the football, and that's going to hurt you as well. Until you get healthy on defense, until your offense can stop making mistakes, you're going to see results like this against better teams in the league. And so let's get to any comments that may be out there. As the Eagles win 33-10, go to 7-1, extend their winning streak to 6 games. 49ers drop to 0-8 on the season. LL says, man, the Eagles are good. Yep, that's been established. Cloud says, our O-line as a whole was getting destroyed for a good amount of the game, though the rain might have played a part in it, but damn. Yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, the 49ers are good up front. Don't get it twisted, but they haven't been getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They were able to get pressure in this game up front a little bit in particular. And some of it was the rain. Like I said, all the East Coast games were affected by inclement weather, this game included. But no excuses. You're going to need Big V to step up. You're going to have guys step up in the absence of Peters, and some of these other offensive linemen going to have to step up and be huge for you moving forward, because you're going to have to protect Wentz. He's not going to be able to Houdini escape all the time. You're going to have to protect him. And if you don't, you're going to see mistakes being made, like the pick he threw in this game. You know, he's going to have some mistakes. Pressure does create turnover opportunities for the opposition. So Cloud says our defense came through and are starting to get turnovers. And that was something that we saw. Remember in the preseason when the Eagles were creating all these turnovers, and that was the big story coming out of the preseason. Now this defense is going to be much better, and they're going to create turnovers. They're getting back to that now. And if they can continue to create turnovers, it's going to make this team that much more tough to deal with moving forward. I thought they were outstanding. And when this offense needed to pick me up, the defense provided it with the pick six and really got things jump-started in the right direction. And I think that's what good teams do. When one side of the ball doesn't have it, another side has to step up and pick up the slack. And I thought the defense did that in this particular game. That's going to do it for Eagles and 49ers. Eagles get the win 33-10, extend their winning streak to 6. Overall, 7-1 on the season, best record in the NFL with the 33-10 walloping of the 49ers. For the Niners, another ugly loss, 2 weeks in a row to NFC East teams, 3 straight weeks of losses to NFC East teams overall, 0-8 on the season now for Kyle Shanahan and his bunch. Like I said, they're going to win a game eventually, and when they do, it's going to be in the division. And I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals like, that's the team you need to get. If you're going to get somebody, and they got to come to San Francisco, and it's going to be without Carson Palmer. If you're going to get somebody, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. In any event, it's going to do it for your man Louie T here on Lockdown Coverage. Got 2 more games to break down, 2 good ones too. So come back and join me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I've got Falcons and Jets. I've got Texans and Seahawks. Come back. You don't want to miss those. Those were 2 good ball games in week number 8 in the National Football League. I'll see you in a second. Don't go anywhere. Lockdown coverage. Covering this league like a blanket. I'll see you in a second.